We've spoken about simple updates that would improve each role, and now we're down to the last, the Moonshiner. So in this video, we'll be talking about what players would like to see if a Moonshiner expansion was ever going to happen. Before we do get into the video though, I want to let you know about a project that I've been working on. It's no secret that I've created a lot of gaming channels, and because I've created so many, I know how to get them partnered in about 1 to 2 months without needing to promote them on other social media accounts. And I always get asked, how do I do it? That's why I've created an in-depth class on Skillshare. It goes through the basics of creating a new YouTube channel, but it quickly scales up into doing keyword research, planning videos, recording, editing, creating thumbnails, and eventually getting monetized, where you can actually start running your YouTube channel like a business by outsourcing the work. If you're interested in having your own gaming channel, then there is a link in the description down below, as well as you can find it as the pinned comment, and that will give you a free month of Skillshare where you can use that time to watch through my class, and at the end of it, you will understand everything that you need to know. So link to everything can be found in the description down below. Getting back into the video, the Moonshiner is by far one of my favorite roles within Red Dead Online if we're looking at core functionality. It takes the best stuff from the trader, removes all the crappy stuff, adds an outlaw element, whilst also partnering a role up with the best missions within the game, this being a life of shine. But with all of that said, if an expansion was ever going to happen, there's certain things that we would all like to see. Firstly, with a new expansion, there needs to be new ranks, and with those ranks, hopefully we're going to be having some good unlocks. Not just a case of it being unlock tokens, which you get with every single rank that you go through, but also some pretty cool skills as well as some pretty cool equipment. And this can't just be ranks like what we had with the prestigious bounty hunter, where it was only 10 extra. At least it needs to double. It needs to give another 20 ranks on top, giving us a max rank of 40 altogether. And number 2, and this kind of links into that previous point, we need an upgraded role horse. The role horse for the Moonshiner is the Norfolk Roadster, and it would be nice to have something better than what's already there. Now, by all means, the horses that are available through the roles aren't bad, but it has been around 2 years since we've had a new horse in the game. And by updating this role to add a new Norfolk Roadster, which is better in stats, or you could just re-release the horses that are already available but within different codes, then yeah, it would be 1,000 times better. Number 3, new delivery locations. If you're like me and you've explored the world of Red Dead Online, with each Moonshine Shack location, you've probably gone through the deliveries multiple times, and for multiple times it's gone to the exact same locations. It would be nice to have each of the shacks having different delivery locations with a few more added on top, just to spice things up a bit. Number 4, a big one, new expansions. There is a section within the Moonshiner called expansions. This is where you're allowed to have the bar expansion and the band expansion. There is room for a lot more. There was actually a point a few years ago where during a live stream, I went into a game which glitched out, and it did show other doors to the Moonshine Shack. These were just doors and they didn't lead to any rooms. It was just open space into the void. And of course, we can say that after 2 years of this role being within the game, there hasn't been any expansions from it. So those doors probably mean nothing, but that does leave it still open for something within the future if an expansion was ever going to happen. And number 5, an introduction to a fight club. This also could link to that previous point, but this needs a separate topic, really because of the amount of people that want it. A fight club has always been something that players wanted within Red Dead Online, especially towards the end of the Red Dead Redemption 2 story, where you can see this being part in Saint Denis. With the Blood Money update last year, fans were hoping that a fight club would be introduced into Saint Denis as a free roam event, and it never happened. Now with a fight club, it can be its own separate thing, but I want to talk about it within a Moonshiner because it could be part of those new underground expansions, where you do have a room which contains an underground fight club. And this has been one of the most asked for content ideas, not just for the Moonshiner, but in general for Red Dead Online. We're talking about heist properties, the Rockstar editor, the Rockstar creator, and then probably a fight club. Number 6, new bootlegger missions. Just need something to spice it up a bit, as we're sick and tired of just going over to revenue agent stops and killing all the revenue agents. Number 7, different moonshine recipes and different strengths. We have already gone up from weak all the way to strong strength in moonshine, and there are a number of different recipes already there, but it would be nice, and this is a very small touch, to have more recipes where you can actually earn a bit more money, more than just $200. Number 8, new Life of Shine missions. These are by far the best missions within the game, but unfortunately there is only 5. These missions were left open-ended, so it does look like at some point within the future Rockstar will expand them, but they also did a very similar thing with a Land of Opportunity, and still to this day we haven't had any new missions for a Land of Opportunity, the main story of the game, and we also haven't had anything for a Life of Shine. Number 9, the Moonshine crossover with the Braithwaites. This has been something that players have been asking for ever since the release of Red Dead Redemption 2. They wanted to see the Braithwaites in Red Dead Online. Unfortunately, to this day, it hasn't happened. We do see the Braithwaite mansion, but that's as far as it goes. It would be great for the Braithwaites to be introduced with the Moonshine, because at some point before 1899, Catherine Braithwaite began selling moonshine to the Lemoyne Raiders through an illegitimate side business. During this time, she also became acquainted with Angelo Bronte. Now, for our characters within the game, we're connected to Angelo Bronte through Guido Martelli, and even though the Blood Money update, it wasn't good, it did connect us to some outlaw activities. Now it's just time to take the next step so that we can be a bigger part of the Bronte crime syndicate, whilst also connecting it back over to the Moonshiner, which would be the direct link of the Braithwaites. And number 10, if you're going to bring in the Braithwaites, you also need to bring in the Greys. We do have Sheriff Grey within Rhodes, and that's as far as the Greys family goes. But this would be a great conflict, just like it was a great conflict within the main story. Number 11, being able to do joint deliveries for not just the Trader and Moonshiner, but for them to be both done at the exact same time, both of which can be triggered by going to any of the locations, being your Moonshine Shack or your camp. By doing both deliveries at the exact same time, it brings on more risk, but hopefully should be a much better reward at the end. Number 12, long distance moonshine deliveries. Yes, this is copying exactly what's already in the game with the Trader, but it works out well. With the Trader, if you do a long distance delivery, it will notify nearby traders to attack you. With the Moonshiner, I don't think it's fair to do the exact same thing, but with a long distance delivery, there is still more risk because there's a higher chance that there will be spillage with the moonshine bottles that you have in the back of your wagon. And of course, if you complete this delivery, you should be rewarded with more money. At 13, we have new dynamic events. One thing that I've seen players asking for, but really not too sure how it would go down, but either way, they like the idea of there being an event where you can attack other people's underground bars. And it would be cool for this to happen, but as said, not too sure how it would go down. Still, with dynamic events, we always invite more because it just gives a bit more depth to the world. At 14, we have new free roam events. With the Moonshiner, it's really lacking with any type of good free roam events, whether it be PvP or PvE. So there really does need to be something that is brought into the game specifically for the Moonshiner. At 15, and this is a small one, but this is customization options for the underground bar. Some like the idea of linking this back over to legendary animals by having legendary animals mounted to the wall. This can also link into the Naturist and Trader, as there was mention of a taxidermist. And we did talk about that within the expansion videos for those specific roles. But if we're not taking it that far, it would be nice to have extra decors which are available. The last one that we got was from the Halloween pass within 2020. At 16, we have new Moonshine delivery wagons. This very similar to what we have with the Trader, as the Trader has small, medium and large, which allows you to take more goods on the delivery and it results in you getting more money. Instead of doing bigger deliveries, it would be better if we was able to have a wagon which you could upgrade. A very simple upgrade system where you can see the wagon that you're using and upgrade it to make it more stable, so that when you are on a delivery, you're less likely to have any spillage. Now, for the current deliveries that we have, where it takes about 1 to 2 minutes to actually get to your location, yeah, it's not worth it. But if we do link it back to those longer distance deliveries that we mentioned earlier, this is where that risk reward system can come into play. Whilst we're on the subject of talking about wagons, at 17, just the ability to change weapons on a wagon. I said this for the trader and I will continue to say this. You can change whatever weapon you want to whilst being on horseback, but you can only have the current selected weapons on your wagon. I know some people are worried about the immersion with weapons somehow teleporting from horseback to your wagon. If that's the case, there can be a completely separate loadout that you either need to buy into, very similar to if you had a second weapon holster, you would need to buy the weapon again. Or there could be a completely different section of the game. Once you select to do a delivery, the new section will allow you to change your loadout before actually getting into the delivery. This is literally just an extra step before going into it. At 18, we need new awards. One award which is very easy to add is what the bounty hunter has, an award that you can complete over and over again with there being no cap like the other awards, which will only allow you to do it 10 times. This is of course being able to get 10,000 XP within the Moonshiner. Very similar to this, at 19 we have new daily challenges. The same daily challenges are used over and over again for every single role. It's about time that we get some new ones added into this. I'm bored of having a daily challenge of sit there and play with a band or go and dance for 2 minutes. Yes, it pays out gold, but it is just me sitting there and putting my controller down whilst I wait 2 minutes for it to be over, and then I can actually get on with what I want to get on with. And finally, at 20, this one should be an obvious one for every single role. Of course, it's bug fixes. There are still some issues that were part of the game when the Moonshiner was first released that are still within the game. Occasionally, when I log onto my Xbox to do a Moonshine delivery, I will enter into the Moonshine chat, go downstairs, talk to Marcel, and once I do talk to him, unfortunately, it cuts into a black screen. That black screen doesn't end. It's an infinite black screen, and the only way out of it is the dashboard and go through Red Dead again, only to realize that your Moonshine has all gone. This issue still persists within the game after 2.5 years of this role being available. So with a new expansion, can we please fix some of the issues that have been in the game since the beginning? That would make life a lot better. But anyway guys, here are 20 different update ideas that would be invited if there was a role expansion to the Moonshiner. If there's anything else that you would like to add to this list, then please feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. But anyway guys, I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. But for now, I'm going to see ya.